Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 15 of our F1 2021 Alpine mod career mode. Yesterday we're here back ready for the US Grand Prix. Yeah, really looking forward to diving into this one, obviously back at Circuit of the Americas. 2 points separate Charles Leclerc and I in our ever-increasing title battle for P4 and best of the rest, obviously behind the Hamburg bot combination at the top of your championship. If you missed out the Japanese Grand Prix last time around, definitely recommend going back and checking that one out. But yeah, let's head in then here ready for the US Grand Prix. I am genuinely going to miss the look of this Alpine come the end of the year. I've got no immediate plans for an Alpine career mode on F1 at 2021. So yeah, it might be a little while before we see the beautiful blue car once more in F1. In terms though of the US Grand Prix, again, a bit like Japan last time, I'm not really too sure how much aero we need for this circuit. I'm probably going to go quite high again on the aero front. Obviously through the S's, through Sector 1, it's going to be really helpful. But around the rest of the lap we might struggle just a little bit more. Just want to feel comfortable with the car. We need a much better qualifying than we got last time round as well for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's head out then onto the track. Heading out then onto the track for the US Grand Prix qualifying session. Hopefully we can put the car up inside the top 10 this time round. Obviously failing to do so last time out. Japan wasn't actually that bad in the end for us, but would certainly like to start the car up closer to Charles Leclerc this weekend, down through turn 1, taking a lot of curb on the inside. That was a pretty decent run though through the first corner. I'm sure this is going to be Hamilton's hunting ground this weekend. Has always had a lot of success around the US Grand Prix circuit. They're through in 7th gear through so many corners in that first sector there through the S's, trying to keep it just nice and tidy there. A little bit of understeer as we head out through sector 2 there over the top of the hill, but so far so good on this lap there, braking at about the 100 metre board for the hairpin. Make sure we just keep it nice and tidy there. A little bit as the back end tried to come round on us on the exit, but we do hold on to it this time round as we head up the back straightaway. Holding on to P6 at this early stage of the lap there, but we've got to make sure we keep it nice, clean and tidy through the final sector there. Brake just before the 100 board once again, take a nice chunk of curb on the inside there. You can really afford to use a lot of that curbing. And then just through here, trying to just be really careful you don't snag a brake. A little bit of understeer. That's going to cost us a little bit of momentum there, but don't worry about trying to gain it all back really quickly there. Short shift on the exit, just try and get the traction down. As you head through the Turkey S section, completely pinned in a Formula 1 car, no issues whatsoever. Then one of the most difficult corners on the lap up next, penultimate corner. Or using a lot of curb on the exit there, but we do get away with it. Final turn, let's just see where we can put the car on the grid. It's been a 2 weeks running, Matt. Come on, learn the buttons. Up towards the line, P5 on the grid for the US Grand Prix. I'm very happy with that one. Hopefully that'll give us a good chance to battle Charles today, and maybe, just maybe, finally take P4 in the championship at least some point this year. Well, there we are then, qualifying done for the US Grand Prix, and is Hamilton on pole by 0.3 of a second over Max Verstappen there. Bottas, Charles, myself. Alpine looking good this weekend. 5th and 7th on the grid there. Getting all in with the Ferraris there and ahead of Sergio Perez is exactly what we needed here. Quicker than the Aston Martin, sat down in 9th and 10th place there. Then you got both Maccas, both AlphaTauris, both Haas, and then the Alphas and Williams rounding out your grid here for the US Grand Prix. Let's do this thing. Well, here we are then, ready on the grid, around 15 of the year here from the US Grand Prix, and boy is this one going to be an exciting one. Always love coming back to COTA on F1 2020. You know, with the higher downforce cars of recent years, this place, yeah, I've really learned to fall in love with it as well. I think I say that about a lot of tracks in modern day Formula 1. Just the newer cars have made them so much better around a lot of tracks around the world there. But the 3.4 miles and 20 turns of the US Grand Prix, obviously a lot of corners based on other tracks from around the world. Obviously you've got the Turkey S section, you've got the S's from Silverstone as well. Obviously the brilliant turn 1 is a bit more unique. You don't really find that at too many other tracks around the world. It is arguably Herman Tilke's best creation, probably this or Malaysia in all honesty, in the current world of Formula 1 as well. And hopefully today we can have an absolute cracker of a race as well. And obviously missing out on the US Grand Prix last year, good to be back here once again at COTA, obviously with all the fans here in Austin. Lewis Hamilton though, looking to try and further extend his championship lead. He's always gone well around this circuit as well, and I'm sure he's looking for more success here today. You know, starting ahead of Max Verstappen once more, it is very much looking like Lewis Hamilton's title to lose now at this late stage of the year. Remember, just 5 races to go here over the F1 2021 Alpine Mod Career Mode. Having a look though at your grid, like we said, it is Lewis Hamilton alongside Max Verstappen on the front row of your grid for round 15 of the year. Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc on your second row there as well. Myself, Esteban Ocon, P3 ahead of P5, sorry, ahead of Carlos Sainz, Alonso, Perez, and the 2 Racing Points round out your top 10. Then you've got both McLarens, both Alpha Tauris. Then you've got Nikita Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nicholas Latifi rounding out your 20 cars to start this Grand Prix here today. Let's head down then to trackside, see what we can muster up here at the US Grand Prix. Right, well here we are then, ready on the grid for the US Grand Prix, round 15 of the year here. And luckily it's looking like another dry Grand Prix this weekend. Softs to mediums, pretty simple strategy as well. We got Charles Leclerc, our main title rival. He has been absolutely running right in that Ferrari in qualifyings. Race pace though, we seem to be really, really good in our Alpine here. So hopefully starting alongside him this weekend, we can try and get ahead of him early on, maybe around the pit stop window, and then really try to fly away in the second half of the Grand Prix. Maybe, just maybe, we could challenge for another podium here, but let's not get too optimistic. We have got a title battle that we just want to score good, consistent points. No major risks between now and the end of the year. But here we are then, waiting on those 5 red lights for the US Grand Prix. It's 5 lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. There, Charles responding really well as we head down towards someone there. Look at that from Charles Leclerc. As we head up in towards the first corner, we're going to get absolutely swamped to Sainz. Holy Sainz, man, that was not chill. Seb's come from 10th to 6th. No idea how he's managed that as well, though. We get a warning for a collision with our teammate. Unfortunately, just trying to avoid the chaos at the start there. Look at Lance Stroll going for it as well. This is one of the most dramatic starts to a race I think we've had all year, as Carlos Sainz up into 4th with front wing damage. Everyone just trying to jockey for positions there around the outside of Seb and maybe Valtteri as we head out of Sector 1 there. That's what you love to see. Really trying to capitalise as all these guys get stuck behind the Ferrari man here. And yeah, look at that. We are back up then into P5. Somehow no front wing damage there, as Carlos Sainz absolutely sits on the apex. We need to get past him down at this straightaway here if we can do, as Bottas he has had a bit of a mare off the start, but a great start for Hamilton, Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. They're all clear out front in this Grand Prix. Up the inside of Carlos Sainz we go. A nice simple move, a little bit late on the apex, but Carlos, why are you trying to come back at me, man? You got no front wing. That was a massively aggressive move from Carlos Sainz at the start of this Grand Prix there, and it has not paid off. It's one of those ones where every 1 in 20 it might pay off for you, but this wasn't one of those, Carlos. And we're back up into P4 then, where we started in the Grand Prix. Verstappen's actually taking the lead from Lewis Hamilton in all the commotion there, so this could be critical for Max Verstappen. Still a slim chance of a Drivers' World Championship this year, but he needs to be consistently beating Hamilton from now until the end of the year there. Sainz into the pits behind, and yeah, we are back up into P4, 2.5 behind our rival Charles Leclerc. We've just been informed on the radio that I think it's Sebastian Vettel with some issues in this Grand Prix there, so he had a really good start into 6th place, and unfortunately he might start to go backwards again in this Grand Prix. I'm just wondering whether Charles Leclerc's got some issues in that Ferrari. He seemed really slow last lap, but seems to be getting back up to pace now in this race. We'll have to monitor that. Gap hovering at about 2 to 2.5 seconds, as Hamilton now already applying some pressure on Max Verstappen. It's so difficult to try and manage the ERS around here as well, where there just aren't that many big braking zones. We have got the gap to Charles under 2 now, so we are definitely still pushing to close in. That Ferrari's still just quicker down the straight. If we can get into the DRS, we might be able to gain a bit more, as Hamilton now puts the move on Max Verstappen and does re-inherit the lead of the US Grand Prix there. I think he's done it. No, Verstappen coming back at him as they head through the S's there. I think, has Verstappen held on? They might still be side by side as they head through the Turkey S section, and Hamilton, up the inside he goes there. A massive battle between the two title rivals, but Hamilton has pulled off the move and does inherit the lead of the US Grand Prix there. Jeff just confirming what we already knew. Things that you love to hear. Oh, Charles Leclerc, big old slide. So we head through Sector 3 there. That's going to bring us a whole lot closer to the Ferraris. I think he's just shredding through his rubber at this stage of the Grand Prix. Meant to be another lap before we pit. But I'm tempted now to try and go for the undercut on him. I'm a bit worried about traffic though, looking at the mini-map. So I think we'll just stay out and hold normal strategy here. But Charles Leclerc, yeah, really starting to struggle in that Ferrari. Really just trying to make sure we get some DRS on Charles Leclerc this time round. Hopefully going to bring us a couple of tenths closer to him, and I think we have just about done so. Yeah, there we go. Into the DRS then in the US Grand Prix. We're not going to be close enough to go for a move this time round, but it just helps us, you know, start filling his mirrors a bit more. We have still got Bottas.
Okay, the DRS is stuck.
Really?
You'll have to come in so we can try and attempt to fix. Pit in for repairs.
Really? The first time we get DRS in this Grand Prix. I am cursed on F1 2020 in this career mode here. Now we've got the DRS stuck open in this Grand Prix, so we're going to have to be really, really careful through the final sector of the lap. It was a good job we need to pit now, at least. But how are we going to fare through here? Just not quite on full throttle through a lot of that. Actually, surprisingly well. This time around, the Alpine, a very, very stable car, apparently. That corner was not so good as Charles Leclerc stays out another lap in this Grand Prix. We were planning on pitting anyway here. But with the DRS stuck open, we're going to definitely have to here. And why? Why does that keep happening? When do you see that in real-life Formula 1? Luckily, no one else into the pits, so we're going to get a nice, clean pit stop here. Are the team going to be able to fix it, though? 2.9 second stop? Apparently not. No, it's still stuck open. As I said, I think I'm cursed on F1 2020 here. Heading back out of the pit lane, we're going to be right out with all the back markers as well. Mazepin up into 11th place there as we come out just alongside George Russell. Hang him out to dry on the exit of Turn 1, but how are we going to fare through the S's here? This could be championship defining for myself and Charles Leclerc. Having to be really, really easy through there. It's going to give us a big old run down the back straight, but not what we want here at COTA. It's not as bad as I thought it would be as soon as I say that. We get a huge kick of oversteer on the exit of the corner. But yeah, I thought it would be a lot slipperier. Does that mean a word? A lot slipperier? I don't really know. Anyway, can we get a run on little Yuki Tsunoda? So we head out onto the back straightaway. Let's wait and see.
Your DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
Love clicking the wrong button again. So now the DRS is stuck down? Oh, what's happening here? I don't really know what's going on at this stage of the day. So, no, the DRS is still stuck open. This is chaos and confusion here at the US Grand Prix. And I don't know whether I'm all for it or not. Still down in P14. But I think we're going to see a few more cars hopefully into the pit lane at the end of this lap here. No, Hamilton and Verstappen out. Another one here. Bottas has dived it in. As, yeah, this is just races going from bad to worse at the moment there. Tsunoda in. Alonso into the pits as well. Where are we going to re-emerge in this Grand Prix? As we head back out, down towards Turn 1. Where on earth? Oh, we've been mugged by Bottas massively. This is going from bad to worse at this stage of the day. Bottas comes out 3 cars ahead of us in this race from 2 seconds behind. When are we going to get some luck here? Right, we need to get a good run on these guys. I think Seb is still struggling with some issues in that Aston Martin. Can we get a good switchback on Nikita Mazepin? With the early DRS there, we'll try and use it to our advantage, which we have done. Straight back up into P8 of the Grand Prix, and we'll see you later, mate. Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly side by side just in front of us. Think about going for a dive. Gasly way earlier on the brakes than I was expecting. And Mazepin might be able to get back past us. Yes, he has. We do rejoin the circuit there. Cheers, buddy. Love that. Thank you very much. We might just have to send it on him here. Mate! Mazepin has no chill, just turns in on anyone. I don't know why I'm surprised by that, but this race is just chaotic at this stage. It's barely commentatable at this stage of the Grand Prix. Are we going to see these guys into the pit lane? Yes, we are. Thank you very much. So we should be able to gain a little bit more here, but Bottas, yeah, a long way up the road now as we've been trapped in the carnage here in COTA. We're going to come back out in P5. The race is Mazepin staying out another lap. Why? Are you just going to try and take me out, or are you just going to try and spin 5 seconds now behind Charles Leclerc. I think, yeah, P6 is... sorry, P5 is all we're going to be able to get from this one. Oh, DRS is back down. When did that happen? The team just never even told me it was sorted. Love that from Alpine, but DRS is now back down. So hopefully we can push to the end of the Grand Prix. I still think 5 seconds for the guys up the road is probably going to be very, very difficult to close up. But doesn't mean I'm going to give up. What we really need now at this stage of the Grand Prix is Bottas and Charles Leclerc to start battling a bit more. If we want any chance of closing in, but I just don't think we're going to have the time in this race unless they get absolutely locked in with a massive, massive battle here. But we'll wait and see. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Who's got issues? Here I go. Oh, I was getting so hyped then for something to happen in this Grand Prix between one of the front runners. But no, it's just Giovinazzi parked on the side of the road. That's not really going to change my mood all too much, I'll be honest. 3 laps to go. We've managed to somehow pick up a 3-second time penalty as well in this Grand Prix, but not really going to worry about that with 11 seconds for the guys behind us. I think, yeah, we're just bringing it home. Oh, Bottas off the move on Charles Leclerc right towards the end of the Grand Prix. Yes, he has. Valtteri Bottas back into P3. So a little bit gutted for Charles Leclerc not to pick up a podium, but for our championship battle, really useful for us. Rather than pulling out 5 points, he only pulls out 2 this weekend. Things you love to see. Well, heading down the back straight then for the final time of this US Grand Prix. Only one word I think can be used to describe this one today, and that is chaotic. So much stuff happened in the first half. It's a shame it kind of all simmered down towards the end of the Grand Prix. A bit weird. We had all this carnage and chaos, and somehow as we ran the final lap, we've got no car within 4 seconds of us either way. 15 seconds the gap behind, as Stroll and Perez still battling it out for P6 here. Hamilton, new fast lap of the Grand Prix. He comes through for yet another race win at the end of the year. That further extends his title lead over Max Verstappen, and surely now this is basically Lewis Hamilton's title. Round in the final corner though, we only lose 2 points to Charles Leclerc, and I think after everything that happened today, that's pretty good.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the US Grand Prix. And it is Lewis Hamilton who takes another race victory there, further extending his title lead by another 8 points to Max Verstappen there. Bottas, Leclerc and myself round out your top 5. All of us ended up in the same position we started in that Grand Prix there. Stroll ends up 6th from 9th on the grid. Perez makes up a spot as well, 7th from 8th. And Lando Norris there gets 4 points on the board for McLaren as well. A good job done by him. Sainz down to 9th after that calamitous lap 1. And Fernando Alonso there, unfortunately, I think he lost a lot in at that third turn 1 chaos there, as we had to take evasive action and unfortunately forced him out wide there. Ricciardo ahead of Tsunoda and Gasly. Like we said, Sebastian Vettel with those issues down in P14 there, still finishing ahead of obviously the Alphas, the Williams and the Haskars there when all is said and done. Just Giovinazzi not making it to the checkered flag there. Championship wise, 42 points now the gap at the top of your standing. So Hamilton realistically is going to wrap it up, I think, with 1 race to go. Obviously, before Abu Dhabi. There could wrap it up with 2, though, if things go his way between now and then. 42 points, the gap back to Max Verstappen there. 41, the gap from him to Valtteri Bottas, and another 41. Actually, the gap between Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc there. We're just 4 points back. Certainly, I think the battle between us two is one to watch out for between now and the end of the year. There doesn't seem to be too many other close battles that could see a big swing there. And constructors-wise, again, all set in stone still at this point of the year there, unless we have an absolute worldie and can close it to Ferrari, or they have an absolute worldie and can close it to Red Bull there. I think everyone is set in stone. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back next time round, ready for round 17 of the year. Round 16 of the year, we head to the Mexican Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.